Hi guys, welcome back to Juicy Reacts. Thanks for clicking on the video today. I think we may have hit 100k by the time you're watching this. If we're close, please subscribe to the channel if you can help us out. If we have hit 100k, thank you so much for all your support.
But subscribe anyway.
Today we've got a part 2. This is why Americans love Filipino culture. We did the part 1. Go back on the channel, check that one out if you haven't seen part 1, because this is like linking on from that.
Yes.
If you want to send us anything to react to, please give us a follow on Instagram. Send us a message over there, because that's where we get all our requests from. And if you like daily vlogging, vlogs, our main YouTube channel where it all started, The Juicy Vlog, it's linked below in the description.
Yes.
Please go follow us there, check out our other videos as well if you enjoy that kind of thing. So we're gonna get straight into this one.
I have not said a word yet, George. And I've got nothing to say apart from let's go.
All right, well you can do the outro.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
See something on TV, you kilig. Yeah.
I love the Filipinos. They are the sweetest, most kind people. They're so welcoming, so receptive. They're always willing to help other people around them, and they're always giving you food. Always giving you food. Every house you go to, there's some sort of snack or full-on meal if they can. They love to help other people. They're so generous, even though they have so little. Because they have so little, when they give what they have, they give to other people. And they're just so concerned about you, and they're so cute. They're so shy. They are terrified to speak English and mess up. But they're so friendly, especially to Americans. They love Americans. They love the white skin, the different hair colors. They're fascinated by freckles. I don't know how much now, like, because Americans have been there for a while, but they're so cute and friendly. I love them. They're so amazing. Definitely, like, one of the best parts of the mission is getting to know the people and the culture there and really embracing the culture that's there. Because I feel like sometimes it's easy to just want to, like, no, I have my culture, you have yours, and try to keep yourself separate. But I personally loved that my trainer was like, no, you need to really try to adapt to our culture and, like, try to take on our culture. And I think that helped me a lot because I understood my investigators at a deeper level, and I was able to help them more because I was willing to really understand and live the way that they lived.
If there's anything I've learned from the Filipino people, it's friendliness.
Everyone's saying the same thing.
The first thing I would say.
Yeah.
Really friendly, sometimes overly friendly. Like, you're walking down the street, anybody will be eating. Like, if you see someone eating while you're walking down the street, they'll call out to you, kaon ta, kaon ta. Yeah, they want you to come eat with them. You just be polite. That's okay, but they're very friendly. Everyone says hi. Everyone greets you.
Yeah.
They're smiling all the time. So yeah, just learn how to be friendly.
The Filipino smile is a thing, isn't it? It's a real thing.
I love everything about them. I don't know, the people are probably my favorite just because, like, going in, kind of like I said earlier, I was, like, really scared. Like, I didn't know the language I was going to be speaking. I didn't know anybody there. But they accept you so quickly, and I feel like I learned a lot about loving people from them, that they didn't care where you came from, they didn't care why you were there, but they loved you anyways, and they'd share anything with you, even though they were a lot of times short for themselves and their family, but they would give anything that they could, just because of who they were. And that was probably my favorite like thing about the Philippines. But I mean, it's a beautiful country, even though I didn't serve in like the tropical like beaches or anything like that. Like, it was so beautiful, and it really like opened my eyes to
I wonder where they've been.
Yeah,
like the
it's
world
nice
that God created for us. It's so diverse.
These guys remember
and it's so beautiful.
and think
I
of first.
like saw animals I'd never seen before, and like eating food I'd never eaten before, and like just like experiencing something completely different was really a good experience, and it was very life-changing, I guess, too. And I mean, and even just like the little things, like the way they get around, like transportation is so much different. It's like mostly public. People, like I said, don't really own their own cars.
These people would have been dropped just into
they take
totally
buses and
culture.
jeepneys that are kind of like old military like jeeps, and they just open the back out and you just kind of squish yourselves in, and you know, they have people like taxi, so like little bike and you hop on and then take you around. So everything was just so different. The language was great too. Like, I'd never even heard of it, and it's such a unique sound, but it's like so beautiful to me now because like I got the opportunity to learn it and to live like that for a year and a half. That it was a really
year and a half. That's a
unique experience, but it was so great.
Did she
in every
vlog?
aspect.
Did she vlog it?
The culture is great. The Filipinos are the best, I think, in the world. They have, because they're a third world country, they're very humble and very nice. And because they're also humble and they live in such humble circumstances, they're willing to share the world with you. And even though the world may not seem like a lot to somebody coming from out of their country, it's a lot to them. One of the cultural things is Filipinos will never eat the last thing on the plate. Like if you have some food out, they'll never eat the last rice. They'll always leave it for somebody else because they're caring and they're thinking of others. Same thing if you come into their home and you look thirsty, even if they don't have like juice or something, they'll go out and buy some juice with like whatever they have and share it with you.
We've had that when people have gone out
people
to get stuff for
They don't wait there.
Yeah.
They're an
I feel
Asian
like it's
country,
normally
so
Red
of course
Horse
they have a
for
lot of
us.
respect.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means.
They've got a lot of that Asian culture, but they're also third world, so they're very, very humble and very respectful in all they do. They're just the nicest people ever. You don't really get your door slammed in your face ever because they're so nice. You will have people turn you down, and especially in the city, it gets a little bit more. People are a little bit more busy, so they're a little bit more edgy and they're a little bit more harder to get into the home. But with Filipinos, you almost always get a first appointment. Like when you knock doors, you'll almost always be able to walk in their door. The problem is the second and third time, they are so concerned about your feelings and how you feel. They don't want to turn you down, so they'll either just hide or avoid you and try to like not make contact rather than tell you up front like, hey, we're not interested in the gospel right now.
Yeah.
They'll just be like, oh, you know, that's cool, but I got to go to my grandma's or whatever. And they'll make excuses and they'll be very polite. So sometimes you have to kind of feel that out and kind of feel where they are and just kind of understand where they're coming from because they're too nice to say no. Basically, they're just really happy. That can be a really good thing for missionary work because sometimes like they're just so like easygoing that when you set appointments, you can go and you can have those appointments and they're great, but sometimes that becomes a bad thing because then they commit. Like if you ask them like, oh, will you read the Book of Mormon? They'll be like, yes, of course I'll read the Book of Mormon. You're the best. I'll read everything. And then you come back the next day and you're like, so did you read? And they're like, oh, I totally didn't. And they're just committing basically to help please you and to help you feel better about yourself.
I think that's
not
also
because
a
they're actually
British
committed
thing.
to
I
doing
think
anything.
British people are
trying
very
to please
polite.
Very
people.
nice and very polite, but also kind of makes it a little bit
general
harder to
anyway.
read them and understand where they're coming from and their point of view. So they're really nice, really good people, but sometimes you just got to work with them and kind of be just straight and be like, hey, look, we know like you're a person, you got feelings, how do you feel about this? And they'll be honest, they're really nice. Like I said, I've literally seen Filipinos like stop what they're doing and come help the missionaries. A lot of times you'll get people who
That's
don't
happened
even
to
know
us.
you out in the
When we
countryside.
lost something on the beach
and you'll
that
be
time,
riding,
everyone
walking
started
down
helping.
a long
Yes.
country lane trying to get to your next appointment. Somebody will pull over, elders, jump in, and you're like, all right. So you get on their little farm tractor or whatever it is they're driving at the time, and you ask them like, so are you a member? Like, how did you know we're elders? And they're like, nah, the elders just taught me once back like 4 years ago, and they were really nice. So I saw you guys walking, and I thought, oh, it's too hot to walk. So, and like they're just super nice that way. So super hospitable in all ways possible.
Hospitable,
Yeah.
definitely.
I would have to say they're very cheerful for the most part, and they're very resilient, very adaptive. They live a very hard lifestyle. Half the time they never know where their next meal's coming from. Are they going to get a next meal? You'll get hurricanes coming through. We had 2 in a period of 2 weeks at one point, caused massive flooding, destroyed homes. I don't know about casualties. I didn't get to hear on that, but I mean, they live in a very dangerous place. If the weather doesn't get them, illnesses will. If that doesn't get them, then there's the militant factions that come out of the mountains and kill people just, because there's.
He's obviously talking about a very
It's a
specific
very
area.
difficult place to
Some of these
live.
points.
Life is incredibly hard, and yet they are very cheerful. They're very optimistic. They're very happy. They look for the sunny side of things quite a bit. I was amazed at how resilient they were. You'd see the children playing, and they were just as happy as can be playing with bottle caps. they'd find games to play with bottle caps, something that we would throw away without even thinking about it. They would play with for hours. They had a blast with them. They would play with a matchbox. They would divide it into spaces and save spiders and put them in. They would play with spiders and let them crawl in their hand. They would try and get them to bite their fingers. Yeah, not my favorite thing, but you know, it was amazing what they could do to find enjoyment in life. They didn't have to have fancy things. Not that they would have turned them down if they had the option, I imagine, but they didn't need them. And they were a very feeling and a very believing people. They're very religious. It's a predominantly Christian nation, but they're very big on living their religion, at least according to their understanding. They feel things very deeply. They're very deeply feeling people, and so it's really actually quite easy to help them feel the Spirit, because they look for it. That's kind of how they live their lives, according to the way they feel and the impressions they get and things like that. It's not a very secular society in that regard, where they live by logic. It's more along the lines of, does it feel right? Does it feel good? Does it ring true? And so in that respect, we had a lot of success as missionaries in bringing people to begin a testimony, and they're the most caring and giving people I've ever met to strangers. You'll be walking past somebody's house and they'll invite you in for dinner.
Definitely.
Just because you walked by. They'll give you the shirt off their back. They'll help you. They'll do anything they can to help you. They're incredibly kind and just very giving. There were many times where we would be walking by and they would invite us in for dinner. Sometimes we would accept, sometimes we couldn't because we were on our way to someplace else. But by and large, they were very, very kind, and they would watch out for us. They would warn us. They would do anything they could to help us. As I said, they believed that we were doing God's work. Even if we didn't belong to their church, they believed that we were serving Him, and that deserved respect. And so they were very respectful towards us, and they were just incredibly kind. I don't think you could meet a kinder bunch, at least in my mission area. I'd have to say, by and large, at least in that area, that was their defining characteristic. Bacolod is known as the city of smiles because the people are incredibly friendly and kind.
I don't know, are they all the same?
I don't know if they know each other or not.
Yeah, or they're separate people.
I love how that kindness and the openness and stuff is the one thing that everyone picks up on.
Yeah.
We've said it in videos. We said it when we
100%.
first came here. We noticed the people. You remember the people. You think about the people more than the scenery and the beaches and the islands and
That's
stuff.
what you take away. That's what you remember, like the real interactions and stuff.
It's really interesting to see other foreigners talking about similar experiences that we've had here.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're doing something totally different than we do here. We just travel around, but it's interesting to see that some of the things they say we have definitely noticed,
they picked up on,
we've experienced ourselves as well. Really, really cool.
Really
Thanks
nice.
for recommending that one, guys. If you want to send us anything else, send us a message on Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed
George,
it.
I'm going to be doing the outro. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Subscribe to our daily vlogging channel, The Juicy Vlog, link below, and we'll see you in the next Juicy Reacts. Bye, guys.
Bye.